River, you like shark because me neither.
When life comes knocking, gotta keep on rocking. Open that door and shout it to the world, saying, hello, hello. Ha, here I am, here I go.
Hey guys, it's Zach. I'm back with another convention hall video. This past weekend, June 17th and 18th, I got to attend VIP for the Saline County Comic Expo. And if you can't tell from my pen and my intro, I had the pleasure of meeting Mr. Greg Berger. He was the voice of the original G1 Grimlock from the 1985 series. He was one of the Constructicons, Jetfire, the dog from Garfield. He's in Audible Monsters. Lots of things. And I grew up with him in a lot of shows, but most importantly to me, he was Jetfire and Grimlock. And I never thought as a kid I would get to meet the man behind the voice. As a VIP member, I got to take a professional photo. This is behind the scenes look right here. And I got this really cool print of Greg. Art is by Robbie Musso, and he's done art for IDW. He's worked on, of course, Transformers, Stealing the Holograms, various cool comic projects, personal art stuff. Links in the description if you want to check out Robbie's art. It's amazing. This is an exclusive print for Saline County Comic Con. Very exciting. One of the things I always try to get is a face portrait of the voice actors, and so I was able to grab this print. Like I said, he's a lot of new characters: Grimlock, Jetfire, Mysterio from animated Spider-Man. He was Eeyore in Kingdom Hearts. Dog from Garfield, the teacher guy in high heels from Audible Monsters. Lots of really cool voice acting roles, and I grew up with him. Like, his voice has been in my ear for as long as I can remember. And so I got to hang out with the Transformer. Like, that blows my mind. What also blows my mind is I had the coolest chance to meet this guy, Selwyn Ward, the first black leader of the Power Rangers. And if you know me, you know I have a hard time making decisions. And so when I got an autograph, I got him in red and I got him in blue. And so that's pretty cool. I have both of these. One of the great things about small conventions is you get to have more of an intimate experience with the guests. So you don't have to struggle through crazy long lines and people don't scurry them away. I was able to go on the convention, go talk to Greg Berger for a bit, work my way up to get to where I was like in the right mindset and not fanboy mode to go talk to Selwyn. And when I got over there, he's just the coolest dude, coolest guy. Just got to have a lot of conversations with him, got to talk to him about some things. I even had the privilege of hanging out with Selwyn and Greg after the convention, and I got to talk a lot with Selwyn, not only as a fan, but as a person, and I got to learn a whole bunch of cool Ranger secrets and learn more about him as a Ranger and as a person, what he's done after Power Rangers for reunion specials like Megaforce and Forever Red and Ninja Steel. I've learned so much about Power Rangers I didn't know, and that's the coolest thing. I had the most fun this year at Saline County Comic Con or Comic Expo then I just didn't want it to end. I wish it could have gone on for days. And it's usually conventions like Anime Expo that had that effect on me, but this was just a different experience. I mean, geeking out with the Power Ranger, along with a friend of mine. I had a friend with me that was hanging out with me in Selwyn after the convention on Saturday, and we just nerded out and geeked out with Selwyn, and it's an experience like no other. Amazing. And River got to meet Selwyn too. River's heard his voice from a lot of the reunion specials and me watching Power Rangers in Space. So he was able to pick up on the voice and recognize it. He was wagging his tail. Then River went around the convention center with me. Was very tired, started to get sleepy. He didn't stay the whole time. About an hour or so, and then he and my partner left the convention. I hung out for the rest of the remaining time of the convention on Sunday. Besides the amazing guests, I got a lot of cool things. But my cool things start a little bit before the convention on Friday. And so I will start there. So I have recently got addicted to Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid. It is a tabletop game by Renegade Studios. There are locations and figures and cards, and you get to fight Power Rangers and villains and monsters. It's really cool. And so I've started to buy these expansions. And so one of the expansions I have purchased before the convention was the Minions pack number 1. It has the Cogs from Zeo and the Crybots from Time Force. So that was exciting to get. And then my partner surprised me with the Time Force expansion. This gives me the Time Force team minus Pink Ranger, because she comes in the Shattered Grid expansion, as well as the Quantum Ranger, some new locations, some new Zords. Pretty awesome. So that's how my haul started before the convention even rolled out on Saturday. That was Friday. But funny enough, when I walked into the convention, I was VIP, I got an hour early. The first thing I saw as I started to walk around, and my first purchases, was this right here, which is another expansion for Heroes of the Grid. It is a Tommy Oliver pack. So a lot of Jason David Frank's characters. You have Mighty Morphin Green. You have Turbo Red, because he was the Turbo Ranger before passing the torch on to TJ, Selwyn Ward's character. Mighty Morphin White, Dino Thunder Black, and there's Robot, Evil Dino Thunder Tommy from the Ninja Steel special. So that's pretty cool. There's also this expansion, which is the Cyclops Zord. It's a giant statue. I'll have to show it to you because it's really big. It's huge. It's a monster, and it basically takes up like a whole location on the board and sends that area in panic. And it seems like it'll be hard to defeat once it gets summoned to the field. There's some cards that help you play it. And along with that, I ended up picking up this, the Mighty Morphin Megazord. And this is also a giant figure statue that looks like this. And all the statues that come with these games are not painted. So the figures, like, for example, all the Green Rangers are green, all the Pink Rangers are pink, the villains are gray, and Megazord's gray. And there are people that play these tabletop games. Trying to think of one. Can't think of another one on top of my head, but I'm sure a lot of you know I'm talking about the little figures. They paint them and they put a lot of detail on them. Warhammer, I think, is the one I'm thinking about, and look beautiful. I unfortunately don't have that skill to paint characters, so I leave mine unpainted. I might try my hand at the Megazord, but I don't know. I don't have steady hands. And along with that, I grabbed this cool pair of dice for the game. That's all the vendor had. So I did pick that up. The vendor did have the base game and a monster expansion, but I already have those. I have a lot of expansions for this game. I have about 7 or 8 different expansions just for the base game. Mighty Morphin, Shattered Grid, some monsters, comic characters, and I'm just now branching out past Mighty Morphin, so I'm trying to make my way through the seasons with collecting. And of course, they have more sets coming, more Rangers coming. If you're curious about this, check out Renegade Games down in the description. They have the tabletop game. They have a deck building game that's really cool I want to get into, and an RPG Dungeons and Dragons game, which I'm going to talk about later. But yeah, my convention experience started off with Power Rangers. Just automatically, I was able to run into another vendor that I know that runs a comic book store. I was able to actually trade some figures for this box set here. This is the Pipe Patroller 2-pack. And I usually get 2 of the Army Builder packs, and there's usually a base figure that comes out in the main line. But I only have this one. I need to get one more, and the third version of the putty comes with the Green Ranger from the Dino Thunder episode with Tommy. It has the silver stripe, so I need to track that down. And I want one of these. I usually am on top of the Lightning Collection line, but I didn't think this was going to sell out as fast as it did, so I gotta go back and get this one and get the Green Ranger one so I can catch up, because I started not jumping on the ball hardcore as I should have, as the way I did after the line kind of got started. So I'm only missing like 4 or 5 figures from what the line's released so far. Other than Power Rangers, I stopped by a vendor who is a very close friend of mine, Mallory, who I went to high school with and college with, and she and her husband are very close friends of mine. I ended up picking up this Final Fantasy VII. It's a keychain from a hotel, from the game or something. I'm not really sure. My partner, Everett, is a big Final Fantasy geek, and so I saw this and I thought it would be really perfect for him. This is Cloud's key, which is the only character I know. It looks like they have some other keys for some other characters. I have no idea what this is a reference to. I have never played Final Fantasy VII. I got this just based on the fact that my partner loves Final Fantasy so much. So I picked that up from her. Her husband had Arkham City Robin from the Play Arts line. This is always a Robin that I thought had a very sexy design, and so I've dressed up as him for Halloween, and when I saw that they had a figure of him, I could not pass up adding this to my personal collection. Those things were the only non-Power Rangers and Transformers things I picked up at the convention. I got a few little Transformers. We're going to move on to that section. Transformers from some friends of mine. My friend Buddy sold me this guy, Combiner Wars Rook. He came out about 7-8 years ago. I saw him once in Hot Springs with my friend Kevin, and he kind of talked me out of getting him, and I never saw him again since. And he is so expensive to get a hold of, and my friend Buddy sold it to me for basically retail price, and that meant a lot to me because I love this character from the comics, not based on like personality or story or anything, but just based that he is a Protectobot, and I think in the comics, Groove the motorcycle got destroyed or something, and so he took his place, and I just think he's really cool. So I'm really glad to get that. My friend Dakota ended up selling me this. This is probably the Prime Starscream. Not a character I really wanted when it came out. It's kind of crappy, kind of bulky. A very weird figure. The combined mode with the combiners is kind of trash, but after looking at him for a while, he grew on me, and I decided I wanted him. I might do like a custom. There's another Transformer named Leozak that kind of looks like this, and I might change that to be Leozak. I don't know if I want to put him in trouble, but this was at a very good price, so I got him, as well as Titans Return Sentinel Prime, and this is from the Titans Return line. He's a headmaster, so he has a little robot guy that turns into his head, and he just snaps on like that. Kind of a hard part to put in there, but pretty cool. Actually, thinking about it, that was a trilogy of Transformers that came out. What did I say? 7 years ago? No. Yes. And I got a figure from each chapter. Chapter 1 was Combiner Wars. I missed out on Rook. Chapter 2 was Titans Return, which I missed out on Sentinel Prime. And then Chapter 3 was Power of the Primes, which I missed out on Starscream. So that's really cool that I picked up one figure from each of the trilogy. I didn't think of that until just now, so that's pretty cool. So I had to make a cut here because I just remembered that I forgot to mention these figures. This was the second purchase I made after walking into the convention. These are 3 figures that I didn't pick up right before Bandai lost the rights to Power Rangers and had to pick them up. In Space Black, Carlos. In Space Pink, Cassie. And of course, Selwyn Ward's character TJ in Space Blue. I didn't get this signed because I am a person that doesn't like to get figures signed. I like to get prints, photos, pictures with the actor's face in it to be in my collection. For me, it just means more than just getting a toy signed. So, my friend Brad Russell and his wife are huge Transformer vendors, and I pick up a lot of stuff from them. Brad gave me some school supplies that I don't have with me. They're Transformers related, and they're going to be used in my classroom next year. And I got some really cool prints from Comic-Con. No, it was BotCon. So I wanted to just cut here because I had the books with me and I wanted to show you the books that I bought from Brad Russell. These are the Transformer books that I purchased. They are Choose Your Own Story books, and they're from 1985. They're really old, as you can see. These are pretty cool. There's 3 of them. A lot more of these were made, but I only had the first 3. Dinobots Strike Back. Battle Dive. Looks like Jazz and Starscream on this one. And the Attack of the Insecticons. And like I said, these are your Choose Your Own Fate books. So you read them in a certain way, and it ends differently depending on how you read it. So these are pretty cool. And another thing I didn't mention in my video is Brad had these postcards from BotCon 2008, and I just got these framed, but there are these cute anime boys, and one is a Megatron, Optimus, and Barricade, and I feel like Brad had these out just because he knew that I would gravitate toward them, and so I picked them up and got them framed today, and this is going in my anime room, my Transformer room, one of those rooms. I don't know where this is going to go. Probably Transformers room, since these are Transformers-ish. Anyway, I wanted to share this. Cut back to the video here. Bye, guys. Brad has a big talent on getting me to keep buying stuff from him, even though I keep saying, oh, I'm not going to buy any more today. I'm not going to come by the booth because I'm just going to be tempted. I find something new every time I'm over there. And I just want to say that Brad and his wife are the most nicest people. I could talk to them for hours, and so I kept going over their booth because I just enjoy talking to them, and among the conversation, I'd see something that I wanted. One of the first things that I saw that was really cool was this guy, Highbrow. And he was really expensive, and I couldn't really afford him. And then I ended up seeing this guy, Howard Dive, and he's the evil version of this guy. So I ended up buying him, and I was really happy about it. And among the conversation of talking with Brad, he said that he'd be willing to make some trades with me. So I gave him some stuff from a booth I was sharing with my friend Mike. I ended up getting this as well. So I have both. Bad version, good version, pretty cool. I'm excited about that. I also picked up Generation Sea Spray. I was going to pick up this figure, but I got it for a good deal as well. So, pretty excited about that. He's pretty cool. I'm probably going to give him a different name, just because this looks nothing like G1 Sea Spray. And I'm not okay with that. So, I'm going to change him. Another vendor friend of mine had this guy, Roadbuster, and this came out in the 2000s. He and his partner Buddy Whirl were originally from the Diaclone line in Transformers, and I didn't really have a connection to them, but over the years, past 20 years, I've learned so much about these characters that I wanted them. He's part of the Wreckers. He hasn't had another figure in the main line since, and so I saw him for a good price and picked him up. So I'm pretty excited to have him in my collection. I gotta track down Whirl, and I'll have those guys in my Wreckers mix. And my biggest purchase, which I wasn't planning to get, but I had some other things at my booth, and another vendor said that he would do a mixture of trades and some cash, and I picked up this ginormous monster of a box, Omega Sentinel. And here's a repaint of Omega Supreme. This box is huge. And I will show you kind of what this looks like. He's huge. And I'm gonna do some custom work on him just to kind of change him up from Omega Supreme. But I got a good deal on that, and that was one of my biggest purchases. These conventions that I go to are always a different experience, but my friend Mike's conventions are a smaller convention. There's a handful of guests, but it's always a wonderful experience because it's a more intimate experience with the guests. Usually at huge conventions, you go wait hours in line, you talk for a couple seconds, and they push you off. Here you get to kind of have more one-on-one time with the guests, and I highly encourage you to support your hometown smaller conventions. They're worth it. If you're not attending them, you are missing out. I know some people went to Ranger Stop and Pop in Atlanta, which is a big, huge Power Ranger convention. But I promise you, the people that went there didn't get the same experience I had with Selwyn. You know, I talked to him for about 2 hours on various things, and it was so much fun. And this was after the convention on Saturday. So go to support your local conventions. Go make friends with the dealers. Go make friends with the guests. It's a rewarding experience. Other than that, I got to see a lot of cool friends. I got to meet new people. I even had a chance to come across an extra purchase after the convention. I